Happy Friday, everyone. Thank you for joining us for Facts today on this Friday. My name is Idamarie Collazo, and I'm the manager of Outreach and Partnership under the Great Families for the Near West Side. I am subbing in for Kate Rollicke today, but today we're going to be talking about the Great Families 2020 initiative and our Natural Caregiver program. But before we do that, I want to take some time and talk about the how to nominate a youth hero. To learn more about nominating a youth hero, go to our website at mccoyyouth.org. You can check out our Facebook for more information. Anyone can nominate a youth who is 18 years or younger, especially those who've experienced certain hardships or those who have helped someone in need. So please nominate someone today. And remember, feel free to participate during this live session, as I will be checking our Facebook for those who have questions or comments. And we'll go ahead and get started. So I want to introduce you all to one of our natural caregivers, Jacqueline Bradley.
Hello, everyone.
Just a brief understanding of what the Natural Caregiver program is. It's a community health worker program that supports neighbors by advocating, educating, and coaching them about the community resources in Indianapolis. So Jackie, I'm so glad that you are here for our live session. Now I want to take some time to for the audience to learn about what you do as a natural caregiver. So can you tell us your role and how long you've been here with us?
I've been here at MCCOY for a little over a year now, and my role in the community is to support the neighbors that's in the community and walk alongside them through any type of process that they are in need of resources for. I provide a vast array of knowledge of resources in the Indianapolis, Indiana communities, and I just support families and walk alongside them to get them where they want to be in life.
Very good. Thank you, Jackie. We value your presence here at MCCOY, and we have seen how your work has really impacted the community here. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit, how do you think your presence has shaped the life of a neighbor and the community? And if you have an example, can you share that with us?
One of the things that I've noticed in the community and dealing with various organizations, that a lot of times families become discouraged about not knowing what resources that are out there and that is available to them. And that's one of my roles, to educate the community about the resources that are available and just to support them throughout that process. Just example of a neighbor that I supported is a young lady who was having issues paying her utility bills. Just getting her connected with the right resource, ensuring that all her paperwork was together when she went to that appointment and that interview. It just helped her so much. And just walking alongside her, letting her know she's not in this alone and that she has somebody that's by her side.
So I guess we can see that a lot of families, when they are trying to access a resource, they may not know even maybe what are some of the paperwork that they need to be able to apply for that resource, or how to follow through. And it sounds like your role is really to make sure that before they enter that door for that provider or for that resource, you really kind of coach them and figure things out ahead of time. That way they're not falling through the cracks. Would you say that's
correct?
Pretty accurate?
That is correct.
Yeah. And it sounds like the neighbors that you've been working with really appreciate your support along that way, and it really it decreases the headache of trying to. You had mentioned at one time of kind of doing the back and forth.
Yeah, the back and forth. A lot of times in organizations, You know, you could know that a resource is out there available, but you may not be in that zip code that they're serving. And so that helps a lot, you know, that I do a little research and find out what zip code they're serving, if there's funding available, when do they have walk-in appointments, do you need to schedule appointment, what type of paperwork that is needed, just gathering that paperwork up and just supporting that family, because a lot of times we do fall through the cracks when we're seeking resources. We have everything together, but we forgot one vital piece of information, and that'll set us back, and then we get discouraged. And so I just support the families with that process.
Very good. How much of the work do you do versus families that you're with? For example, how much of the paperwork do you actually fill out? How much of the talking do you do over the phone versus families who are who do some of the paperwork or do some of the calling?
Well, I don't fill out anyone's paperwork, and I do limited calling. I do my research to find out what resources out there available. I give my neighbors that information. I support them with that. If they may have a reading disability, yes, I will read it for them, and so that they know what it means. And I may even fill it out for as jotting down the information that they provide me. But the majority of the paperwork and everything is done by the neighbor, he or she self. I just support.
Very good. So it really is a much of empowering them to take full responsibility of going through this process, and you're kind of just the Google Maps, and they're the driver of the bus, or you're the cheerleader.
That's correct. That's exactly what my role is to be that cheerleader, to be that navigator for them, to sit back and empower them, to let them know that they can do this on their own, and it builds up their confidence going forward. Then they'll learn how to do things on their own as well.
Very good, very good. Can you talk about how the program impacts the families? Like, can you talk a little bit about the 2-generation approach, us working with Hawthorne, and how that impacts families?
Having a partnership with Hawthorne Community Center for Working Families, it impacts the family because I'm the supporter. Hawthorne Community Center, they actually have various resources for the community, for its financial coaching, education coaching, budgeting, finances. They have so many wraparound services over there so that the families in the community can get their finances together and become financially stable.
So it's not just the adult that gets services, right? It's the whole family, essentially.
The entire family. Aunties, uncles, grandparents, siblings, fathers, mothers, whoever is in the family. This is what this is for, so that the whole family can be fine.
And I think oftentimes families experience, and there are appropriate programs out there for just the adult, for just the child, but I think oftentimes and not, we don't find a robust system or a program that really does serve the entire family. And I think with the Great Families 2020, from what I've heard you say, Jackie, is that it really does attempt to service the entire family. And I think we need more programs that really do support the entire family, because we know that families don't live in a vacuum. They're surrounded by family, friends, colleagues, and other assets that really need to be considered. So for your families, the ones that you've worked with, the ones that you're working with right now, what do you hope for them? What do you, where would you like to see them within the next year or two?
I would like to see them accomplish any goals, dreams, and desires that they have within themselves. I would like to see them educated with a vast array of knowledge, resources, and the energy and the drive to move forward in their lives so that they could become financially stable.
And I can tell, you know, from as long as I've known you, and for our viewers who may not know, that you want them to feel empowered.
Yes.
For them not always to have to come to you necessarily to help them do that upfront work, like maybe filling out forms or making those phone calls to service providers, but really educating them about the process, how to stick with it, and how to be successful in that process.
That is correct.
Yeah, and maybe even so, passing down that wisdom, that knowledge, that experience to their children or to our neighbors or to other family members who may be experiencing similar things to that.
Yes, we host social capital events monthly to get the community together to engage with one another so that the community can become supportive of one another, to have that neighborly relationship, that friendship where you feel comfortable talking and discussing various issues, problems, or just shortcomings you may have in your life. Because a lot of times we've all been through various things in our life, and we all can help, teach, educate one another.
And I think that's just it. I'm really glad that you mentioned that, Jackie, because you're right. A lot of people out there, regardless of your background, have experienced a level of hardship.
Yes.
And so there's also other groups of people who have navigated successfully how to come out of that. And I think once you bring those two groups of people together who have been through it and have who've come out of it, and then the groups that are currently struggling, and merging and really having that conversation of like, hey, how did you get out of this mess? Or, you know, what was your experience like? Or who should I talk to? Or what, you know, things of that nature. Yeah.
And you can also, it's a good way to pay things forward and give things back that was freely given to you.
Right.
As well. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I do.
Very good, very good. Can you talk a little bit about, just a little bit more about the social capital plans and kind of what you and Maria is our other natural caregiver that works on the Near West side with Jackie and with Hawthorne Community Center. But can you talk a little bit about some of the community events we have planned for the next couple of months?
Well, we're doing an event this month at Zumba in the park, where we're going to be in Riverside Park, and we're just going to get the community out in the park to get some exercise, to have some fun, to enjoy the sunlight and the children. We're also doing weekly community walks on the Near West Side, where we're just getting out in the community, and we're going to take a nature walk on the trail together. We also have events called Street Talk, where we go out in the community and just find out what are some of the concerns and the needs of the community so that we can identify resources to best support them.
So we have coming up Street Talks, Community Walks, and Zumba in the Park, in which we will go ahead and post that on our Facebook right after this session is completed. So wow, those all sound really exciting, and you know, like you had mentioned, family community can come on out and enjoy some time with each other, roam around the community and learn about certain assets that are in the community, get to know their natural caregiver, and other things that we would be talking about that day.
Yes.
So.
And you even get to know your neighbors.
Yeah.
You know, we live in the society now where we don't even know who our neighbors is.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a way to get out there and communicate with your neighbors and talk to your neighbors and celebrate and have some fun all at the same time.
Yeah, it's exciting, and I've been to quite a few, so I can attest to the good energy that comes from these type of events. So thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Is there anything that you want the viewers to know about the Natural Caregivers or the Great Families 2020 initiative?
Something that I would like to share with the audience is that we are out here to support the community. We want to see the community thrive. We want to build up the community. We want to empower and build up members of the community as well.
Very good. Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. It was a pleasure having you, Jackie. Thank you so much for being here on Facts. And thank you all for tuning in. Please leave us a comment or a question in our comment section box, and we will get back with you then. We will not have a July episode for the Facts, so please stay tuned as we will update our information on Facebook and on our website. But until then, take care and thank you for being with us today.
See you later.